Hi everybody, Steve Bedder from Autodesk in the UK here. Just want to share with you some work that I've been doing on the Eco Materials Advisor within Autodesk Inventor. Now to start with, I'm actually using the new Product Design Suite Launchpad, which is available on the Autodesk Labs website. You can download it for free from labs.autodesk.com, and it actually gives you a host of workflow specific tasks that you can launch directly from the Launchpad. So for example here, I've selected that I actually want to do some materials analysis and some eco-impact analysis. And by selecting that from the Launchpad, I can choose my part or assembly, which then automatically launches Autodesk Inventor and puts me straight into the Eco Materials Advisor environment within Inventor, so that I can begin to do my eco analysis. So with this assembly that I've got here, there were already some materials assigned as part of the design process within Inventor, but those materials have automatically been recognized by the Eco Materials Advisor and applied to the components as part of the EMA dashboard. Now, I've got a whole host of materials that I can access as part of the EMA dashboard, and this is done in partnership with Granta Material Intelligence, a UK-based materials company. And all these materials are cloud-based, but we can search for materials, we can browse for materials, and we can even access all of the material data that we have as part of the Eco Materials Advisor to make sure that we're making better choices about the materials that we use. Once we've found the material that we want to assign, in this case it's titanium to those 4 components, we can then look at the EMA dashboard and see how that choice of material has actually impacted upon the assembly itself, looking at things like energy usage, water consumption, cost, CO2 footprint, recyclability, etc. We have all of the data that we can see within the Eco Materials Advisor dashboard there. We can browse through and see which components, in this case, are RoHS compliant and which components aren't RoHS compliant. We can see highlighted in red the high impacts. So for example, the components there that had the highest CO2 footprint were highlighted in red. We can even start to apply in things like transportation and usage. So transportation being how will the finished components get from the manufacturing facility to where they're actually going to be used. And then the usage, you can actually start to apply how the components will be used in their day-to-day life. Now, one of the great things about using the Eco Materials Advisor is the fact that when you assign components, or when you assign materials to components and finishes and processes, that you can actually start to see how the impact of those changes are based upon the original assembly. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm just actually assigning some manufacturing processes, and again we've got all the detail behind that, so we can see those processes are the right ones. And then once we've chosen the correct or the different materials and assigned the processes, we can actually use the impact analysis to actually see what the differences are based on those new materials and manufacturing processes. And we can see there that energy consumption, water usage, and also CO2 has reduced. Now again, directly from within the EMA dashboard, we can get reports based on the eco impact, but also the difference between the different types or the different analysis that we did. So we can actually create those reports automatically and use those reports as part of our documentation for our design development. Now, all of the values that we've got as part of that eco analysis, we can push through to each individual component, and obviously with them being iProperties within each individual component, that means that we can start to reference them inside of Inventor's Bill of Materials. So with them being inside of the Bill of Materials, it means that we can also summate them. So in this case, I've used just a little bit of iLogic code just to summate all of those values for CO2 footprint and energy usage, so we have a total value for the overall assembly, as well as all of the individual values as well. Now I'm just going to check all of this data into Vault, and in part 2 of this video you'll see how we can reuse all of those values inside of the Autodesk Vault Professional environment.